Jim Rohn used to say to me, Tony, he said, listen to me. What happens if your best friend puts sugar in your coffee? Or see, better yet, what if your worst enemy puts sugar in your coffee? What's going to happen? I said, you have sweet coffee. He said, what if your family member, your closest friend, somebody you love, by accident, drops one drop of strychnine in your coffee? I said, you'd be dead. He goes, that's right. Life is sugar and strychnine, and watch your coffee. And you got to watch what you put in your brain, right? You got to take control of that process. So people believe that there's something wrong when there's a problem. And I'd like you to write this down if you would. Just a simple phrase, really simple. And that's this. Your biggest problem is you think you shouldn't have one. Your biggest problem is you think you shouldn't have a problem. And yet problems are a sign of life. That's what makes us grow. It's what makes us feel most proud. If you own a business and you found a way to succeed, and you had those early days where you're struggling with cash flow to survive, and somehow you made it through. Whenever I'm sitting down with buddies of mine who've made $1 billion or more, and they have huge empires, what do we all talk about? The early days when we're struggling, because you have so much joy from what's come from that growth. See, every one of us in this room is probably experiencing some stress in our lives. And all of us, I don't care how rich you are, how beautiful or handsome you think you are, how funny you are, how many people love you, how much, anything you have, how many beautiful children. The only way you're going to be able to stay fulfilled and happy is you got to keep growing. We grow or we die. I'm sure you've seen so many beautiful souls who have taken their life, people you may have really enjoyed. Think of some of the comedians you know that have taken their own life, committed suicide. Think of designers that have done this. Anthony Bourdain, the guy on CNN, took his life. This beautiful man. Because when people stop growing, we stop having something new to give. And we have nothing new to give, we feel like our life is meaningless. So if you and I are going to change all this, we got to say problems are gifts, and my job is crush those problems, learn from those problems, and expand. How many of you right now in this room, this virtual room of ours around the world, how many of you can think of something that happened years ago that was horrible? You'd never want to go through it again if you could avoid it. You wouldn't want anybody you care about to go through it again. And yet, looking back on it now, 3, 4, 5, 10 years back, you see the grace in it. You see that it made you so much stronger and it's made your life richer, even though you hated it. Or it made you care more because you had so much pain for it. How many can think of something like this that at the time was horrible, but now you see the grace of it here? Say I. Say I. Then don't wait. What if you developed a new belief? What if your new belief is life is always happening for me instead of to me? Because what we're going to talk about this morning a little bit, this afternoon here, is the story of your life for many of you is a trap. Because the human mind tends to look for things that are the most painful because it wants to avoid it, and so we tend to remember that. You know, there's a difference between what we call the remembering self and the experiencing self. A Nobel Prize winner made this distinction. You go to a concert, let's say it's a classical music concert, that may not be your style, doesn't mind personally, but I can appreciate it, and you're in it, and it's just gorgeous, and the musicians are amazing, and everything is in unison, and then somebody drops something, bam, 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 crash, and it just jolts everybody for a moment. But then the music comes back in and you drop back in and your experience of the full 2 hours was gorgeous. But your memory will be that f***ing person who dropped that thing and jolted everybody. That's the way the mind works, not the heart, the mind.
They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts.
The best gifts come from the bottom.
I value myself enough to give 120% or don't do it.
And that if you decide that my life deserves my developing, this is what I do well.
You know, it's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Fail early, fail often, fail forward.
You're here right now at this moment because tomorrow you want to be somebody greater than the person you are today. You see yourself succeeding, you have a vision, you have a dream. Congratulations. You're already 10 steps ahead of 95% of the world.
There is nothing as powerful as a changed mind. You can change your hair, your clothing, your address, your spouse, your residence. But if you don't change your mind, the same experience will perpetuate itself over and over again, because everything outwardly changed, but nothing inwardly changed.
Imagine if Michael Jordan was scared of missing. He would have never taken a shot. Imagine if Steve Jobs was afraid of people not liking his product. There would be no iPhone. So ask yourself this: do you want to be a person who fears failure, or do you want to be a person who loves success? Which one? You're gonna have to pick today. And I'll tell you one thing: one is a failure and one is a success. And if you love success, there is nothing that can stop you. All those negative things people say will mean nothing. They're gonna talk about how only 1% make it to the top. Big deal. Wanna know something else?
I've often said a man's character is not judged after he celebrates a victory, but by what he does when his back is against the wall. So no matter how great the setback, how severe the failure, you never give up.
If you want to have one of the best lives in the world, which is you live on your terms, then you have to pay your dues to get there.
You've decided that you're not going to allow your circumstances to define you. You've decided that you're not going to allow the events, things, the people, life, determine who you become.
You got a problem with your life, you got a problem with your environment, do something about it.
If you want more freedom in your life, you have to have more discipline.
My commitment and obsession is always to be better today than I was yesterday. If I have to make sacrifices to do that, so be it. If I have to tell that person I can't go out drinking with him anymore, so be it. Because that's not what I value.
This information is going to change your life forever. Like, if you've been here, this information is going to change your life. Find out who you are. Find out what your purpose is in life. Everybody got a dream. Everybody got a goal. Stop dreaming about it. Stop talking about it and get up and do something about it.
What are the two most powerful words in the English language? The two most powerful words in the English language are I am. Because what comes after I am will shape your life. What you speak after, I am. What you believe after, I am, will control your decisions and shape your life. If you believe you are powerful, if you believe you are capable of achieving great things, you will attempt great things.
But there's nothing. You were born hopelessly average. And the sooner that you accept that, the sooner that you accept that you are no better than anyone that came before you and everyone that's going to come after you. But all of us have potential. And so the question becomes, the question you have to answer with your very life, the question that your actions will answer. What are you going to do with that potential?
And the interesting thing is that this is not just a clever play on words, that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'd like you to imagine the following scene. You're in your house. You've got your car keys in your hand. The lights go out. Power failure. You can't see a thing. You stumble around in your living room and you drop your keys. And you look around for a moment and you realize that you're never going to find them in the dark. But you look outside and you notice that the street lights are on. So in your mind, a light bulb goes off. I'm not going to sit around here in the dark and grope around looking for my keys when there's a light on outside. I'm going to go out here under the street light. I'm going to look for my keys.